When I graduated with about $56,000 in student loans, both for undergrad and grad. And then after paying all of that off, it took me 8 years to pay it off. I paid close to $102,000. I had to live at home with my parents. I really couldn't go on extravagant vacations. I had to just buckle down and just pay the debt as aggressively as I could. I 1000% think that older generations are very unsympathetic to the student debt crisis, because it is a crisis. I feel it's a lot of pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and you knew what you were getting into when you took these loans, and if you borrowed it, you should pay it back. Stop looking for a handout. And those things are hurtful just to hear, but it's also just like, it's a much different time period. It's a much different financial economy. I would see all my friends posting going to vacation, or I would see all my friends moving out of their parents' house, and I would feel like I'm the only one who made this mistake, or I'm the only one who's in this situation. And so feeling so alone, it really caused a lot of depression and embarrassment, because I didn't have anyone to really talk to about it, and I didn't know how to get myself out of the situation. And I found that once I started talking more about it, or more of these things were more accessible, that it just made it a lot easier to just say, hey, I can't go to lunch this week, or I can't celebrate my friend's birthday this month because I have to pay these loans.
So many people were told to go back to school, to learn more skills to get into a better career, since their careers were being completely obsolete. And at that same time, we saw a rise in tuition across the board. There were tuition hikes and subsequent protests that I took part in. And that's what we really saw, expand and lead into this $1.7 trillion program, because so many states disinvested from their higher education budgets, leaving the burden to the student and the student loan borrowers.
I find that Senator Warren's plan is a lot more realistic, especially because no one's really tackled the private part of loan world. Everything's more federal based. Even loan forgiveness only tackles federal loans. So I'm glad the politicians are focusing on it so heavily. But I do think that something is going to happen that's really just going to burst the bubble, and real change and real effects will take place. And I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later.
I think that, there's a lot of power that the executive branch has, and there's also a lot of power in the Department of Education. We know, for example, they can forgive the loans if they want to, and that's something that Senator Warren's identified. So I think that there's a lot more that, can be done, and at least we need to start at a much further, more bold plan, and then we can chip away from there.